All right, it's day 19. And for the last 3 days, 19, 20, 21, I'm going to cover a few very important topics, extremely important topics. And the reason they're so important is because without a framework of what I'm going to talk about over the next 3 days, it's really difficult to obtain self-sufficiency. Okay, it's extremely hard. And so what we're going to do is, for today, we're going to cover what I call the 4 attributes of self-sufficiency. And then tomorrow, I'm going to cover goal setting and planning. And then for the last day, it's going to be getting things done. Okay, how to get things done. And again, these are crucial topics because without these, most people don't get it done. In fact, the reality is without what I'm going to talk about over the next 3 days, most people don't complete much of anything unless, right, they have the right attributes to be successful in whatever they're trying to do. They have some level of goal setting and planning ability to be able to get there. And then finally, that they are able to actually get things done, right? Not just even, have a dream or a vision, but the ability to actually get things done. So these are very important topics, and I actually teach on this, but I'm gonna give it away right now because I think it's that important. The number one attribute, not the most important, they're all equally important, but the number one attribute is accountability. Accountability, you taking accountability for your results. You're taking accountability for your situation right now, no matter what. You take full responsibility for it. There's a book written by Jocko, can't remember his last name right now, called Extreme Ownership. It's an excellent book. You should read it. I'll put a link to it. It's basically taking ownership or responsibility, holding yourself accountable for everything that happens. Okay, even if it's seemingly out of your control. For example, something happens and you're just like, okay, how is I supposed to know that? I lost my job. I wasn't expecting to lose my job. You know what? It's your fault, even though maybe you weren't the cause of the job loss, but it's your fault because you failed to plan for the contingency of losing your job. Okay, that's the type of ownership I'm talking about. Accountability, okay? Accountability. You are accountable for your own actions. You are accountable for your situation. Hold yourself accountable and take accountability for it. Okay, you got to own it. Really, you got to own it. And then part of this is also finding some help, finding other people that will hold you accountable. Okay, finding another group that may hold you accountable. And this is going to lead into the next one. Okay, number two. Number 2 is commitment. You have to be committed to achieving a level of self-sufficiency that you desire. You have to be committed to achieve anything of any value in your life. You have to be committed, not interested. And what I mean by that is I'll use an example. You want to get fitter. You want to get in better physical shape. You want a lower body fat percentage, for example. And you're like, yeah, I really want a lower body fat percentage, and I want to get in better physical condition so I can work on the homestead and with more energy and all of that. Are you committed or are you interested? Okay, for most people, when they say, yeah, I want to lose weight or I want a lower body fat percentage, they're not committed. They're actually just interested. Okay, and their actions show that they're only interested, not committed. Okay, you have to be committed, and part of that is deciding. Sounds corny, but you do. You have to decide, no, I will get that body fat percentage down to whatever, or I will complete a workout Monday through Friday every single day, no matter what. I don't care. No, I will complete it. I have decided to do it. You have to be committed. The other part of this, as far as commitment is, and it ties into accountability, is setting up yourself for success. And you can do that in a couple different ways. One is find what I call a mastermind group. Okay, and this could just be an accountability partner, accountability group. It could be a Homestead group. I mean, but if this is a tight group, these are people that are going to hold each other accountable. These are people that are going to come together and help one another. Okay, this could be you, Bob, and Joe. You, Bob, and Joe are a mastermind group with, towards self-sufficiency. And you guys have set out and you're like, you know what, we're gonna do this. We're tired of this. We got pretty freaked out on this last go around, and it's not going to happen anymore, and it starts right now. So the three of you get together and you decide, hey, let's get together, and we're either going to get together in person or we're going to get together on a call or whatever, and we're going to say, okay, this is what I'm doing this week, and these are the three things I'm going to get accomplished this week. And everyone goes around and they do that, and then you get them done, and then you get back on the call and go, okay, did you get those three things done? That's kind of a mastermind group. You're pushing each other to be better. Or another example would be that same group says, okay, this Saturday, we're all meeting at my house and we're going to put together this rainwater catchment system. Okay, and we're going to work together and we're going to get done. And then the next Saturday, we're going to Bob's house and we're going to do the same thing there. And then the next Saturday, we're going to Jim's house and we're going to do the same thing there. Okay, that to me that's a mastermind group. The next thing is you need to develop a network. Okay, all of this ties in and helps you with commitment. Okay, but you build a network. Okay, decide that you're going to build a network and do it. For a lot of people, they think, they use the buzzword community. Oh, my community, I'm involved in my community, I'm a part of my community, I want to develop community. Okay, what does that even mean? Okay, for a lot of people, that doesn't really mean anything. Okay, developing a network is much more concrete. A network is tangible people that you have developed relationships with that you can rely on and they can rely on you. Okay, that's a two-way street. So for a lot of people, again, I go back to the community example, they might say like, well, I shop at the farmer's market, I shop local, I do all this stuff, I'm a part of my community. Well, right now, states are locking down farmers markets in some places where you can't go to. So what happened to your community? Well, what happened to your community is that you never develop a network. Okay, so think of it this way. Maybe you go and shop at the farmer's market, and that's great. And you shop local, and that's great. But what if you have gone to the farmer's market and you got to know 2 or 3 different of those farmers, and you said, hey, I'd like to come out to your property on Saturday and provide some free labor for you, just to kind of see your operation, see how you do it, and in exchange, I'll work for you for half a day. Hey, you do that multiple times over a season with 2 or 3 different farmers, and then something like this happens. Do you think maybe you're going to be able to get some food from them? I think you will. Okay, and that goes for everything else. It could be that the people that you get your sheep from, okay, the places where you get your seeds, you develop a relationship, you get to know them, you talk to them. That's networking. Okay, that's building a network. Beyond that is your community of interest. That's what I call your community of interest, where this is the shopping local and all that good stuff. That's all good stuff. But more important than community is your network, and even more important than that is your, what I call, mastermind group. Okay, and it's kind of the same spin on a mastermind group that you would ever think of for business or that have been around literally for decades and decades. Okay, this is a self-sufficiency or a homesteading mastermind group. It's a valuable thing, and you should do it. Okay, third is having written goals. Having written goals. And this is crucial. It really boils down to this. There's people who do it, and there's people who don't do it. And the reality is that people who do it accomplish way more than people who don't do it. And you can look that up and read all kinds of studies on this. If you're the type of person that needs proof and you need studies and all that, go ahead and look it up. It's a fact, and I think everyone actually intuitively knows this. It's been around long enough, and we hear it all. Every self-help guru that you could ever possibly imagine is going to tell you to have written goals, and everyone knows it. And they have to be good goals. Okay, they have to be goals that you'll know if you accomplish them. So one framework is to use SMART goals. Okay, SMART goals: specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and timely. Okay, so that basically that boils down to is you will know if you accomplish that goal if you use that framework. There's other frameworks that you can use, and there's other ways of doing this, and I teach on some of those ways as well. There's themes and milestones, and again, different ways of doing the same thing, but a SMART goal is a good framework to use for sure. You know, or I mean, if you can ultimately say, will I know if I accomplish my goal or not when, you know, X happens? If you can answer that question, then that's a pretty good goal, but you should put a time on it. You should make it timely. Okay, so written goals, having written goals is crucial, and that's the third attribute. Okay, finally, the fourth attribute is planning. Okay, planning, having a written plan, being able to approach something in a measured way through planning. And a very simple way to explain this is, for developing self-sufficiency, if you master project planning, you will be good. Okay, so I really recommend that if you're not familiar with how to plan a project, I mean how to plan a project, not just kind of winging it and all that. We can do those things, and in some manners, you know, that's fine. Okay, but much better to have a written plan, and I'm going to cover tomorrow, I think, some different approaches and go into some more detail. But the fourth attribute is planning. Okay, so in conclusion, these four attributes are foundational. They're very important, and especially now, everyone should take hold of those four attributes and go, okay, how do I develop those four attributes? How can I increase my level of accountability? Okay, how can I increase my level of commitment? How can I learn and be able to articulate SMART goals? And where can I find more information on planning? Okay, so those four attributes are really important to develop, especially right now. And tomorrow we're going to get into goal setting and planning. We're going to go in a little bit more detail on that, because once you kind of get the foundation, now it's time to get busy. Okay, now it's time to get to make a plan and then start executing on that plan. Okay, the time is now.